So, given the recent reports in media, there have been reports that state governments have been moving to block the open access to electricity, which means that they are denying consumer choice, in a sense. So, how does this really play out, and what are the economics of it?
Well, the economics is very simple because the entire new electricity law is premised that there will be plenty of electricity. And once you have plenty, you can have competition, choice, markets can function. But when you have shortages, then you are dealing with an economy of rationing and shortages. So our role is not to ration electricity. We cannot do that. But many of the state regulatory commissions have to perforce do that. And the state government find that there is a huge shortages. Now once you have a shortages, you have this mentality that no electricity shall flow out of my state, so that my consumer, that itself defeats the very purpose. But this is really the reason for this kind of a distortion which is taking place. And they have been trying to invoke various provisions in the law which may not be very correct, but then real reason for that is shortage. And we have today electricity market. We are such a small market. Only 4% of the electricity which is today being used in the country is being today traded, either traded through trading license holders, or we have got 2 power exchanges, third one is about to start. And also there is another method called that unscheduled interchange of exchange of power. So you will find that nearly 44% is being done through what they call as UI, another 40% or something like that. So we are looking at 6% on the power exchanges. So naturally the prices on power exchanges are so high. So it's like that today on the TV they show, because of the failed monsoon, the vegetable prices have gone to 100 rupees, 60 rupees. That something similar thing is happening. Because at the election time, there were state governments who asked their utilities to buy, they were state utilities, they purchase power for 14 rupees. So that has created the problem.
It's because there is a monopoly on wires which are used for transmission. And despite the fact that even though generation was opened up quite a while back, transmission was also opened up. But still private sector has not come into transmission, and transmission continues to be a government monopoly.
Not really. What has happened is that the transmission, because earlier the power grid was the only interstate. After that we have now policy to encourage something similar to ultra mega power project, big transmission projects to be given to licenses. And we have already given one project for the western region to a private company. More important is that was not strictly based on a competitive tendering basis. But now we have an empowered committee, and one of my members heads that committee. And that committee role is to identify these projects, and then competitive bidding will be done by the financial institutions involved, like based on that. So now they have already identified 3 such projects. More such projects will be identified, and based on that competitive bidding tenders will be awarded, and then the private players will come.
Right. So with respect to the Electricity Act 2003, and this is my final question to you, the government has recently proposed, or it is rather considering an amendment in the section 11 of the Act, which it is believed is widely misused by state governments to deny open access.
Well, today the Joint Secretary Shri Jayant Kavle, he spoke and he said, if need be, we will go for amendment, because prima facie it appears that there is no problem with section 11. Its interpretation doesn't seem to be very correct. And because of the shortages and the high prices, state governments have tried to use it and say that no power can flow out. But if the power is flowing out of one state to another state, as I explained to you under the Constitution, it is the jurisdiction of the Central Commission. It can't be of the State Commission. So how can, or the state government, appropriate government if you are talking about, which has power, it will be central government.
Right.
So this matter is in the high courts, and then it could finally go up to Supreme Court if the need be. It will decide it, and that's what Shri Kavle said. We will get Solicitor General's opinion, and we are referred it to Law Ministry.
Exactly. So, just one thing before we leave. Why is it that we send these issues of litigation to courts, normal high courts or civil courts, which have a basically civil background, when we should actually be routing it through expert courts or appellate tribunals which are very focused in this particular sector?
See, what happens is, high courts have original jurisdiction. So many times this provision can be invoked, saying that it is a question of interpretation of law, whereas the appellate tribunal does not interpret law as such. So say that this is something against the constitution, that some provision in the law, against that you can go. So unless High Court decides, finally we have had many cases, the matter went up to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has decided the right interpretation, and then that becomes the law of the land.